Hey guys, Jason here, Samco Workshop. We're going to talk about another fun video. What full-size truck would I buy 2024 if I was buying a full-size truck? What would I get personally? And I'll give it to you from my standpoint as somebody who spends all their time in the swamps. Off-road is what I do for a living. Like I said, this channel is kind of my fun channel. It's my other channel that I make most of my money on. It's what I do for a living. And I spend 200 miles a week minimum in the swamps, in the mud. So I have my opinion for that. But I also have the opinion of for somebody who wants to buy a general truck for like 99% of what people do. So looking at this, what would I do? Okay, well, we got the Tundra. Okay, would I buy a Tundra? No, I would not buy a Tundra. Not even a little bit. Tundra's ruled out. Why? Because I think Toyota quality has gone down tremendously. Now, if you asked me this about the last gen Tundra, back in like 2021, Tundra would have been at the very top of my list for an average everyday person to buy a truck. Would have been right up there. Now they're the last on my list. No interest in what Toyota's doing with their new trucks. I'm not a fan even remotely, and they don't even offer anything that will do what I need in the woods. Not even their Tundra TRD Pro can do what I need to do personally. So for me, that truck is out of there. Now, at least the Tundra is not super ridiculously priced. It's high, but it's not ridiculously priced too out of one with some of the other ones like their Tacoma is. What about the F-150? I've owned 9 brand new F-150s since 2009. Okay, I bought my first, well actually, should be 10 because I owned a 93 new F-150 or 97 brand new F-150, but that's going back so far it doesn't matter. But since '09, I've owned 9 of these F-150s. Loved them. Would I buy one today? Probably not. Okay. I'm not really a fan of some of the stuff Ford's doing quality-wise. They kind of going downhill pretty quick, but the Ford F-150 is still, in my opinion, probably a solid option, but Ford's had something like 30 recalls. There's some issues with that stuff, and they all seem to tailor right around those, and I'm not 100% sure, but I do like the F-150. Always have. Like I said, I've owned 9 of them in the past 15 years. I've owned 9 F-150s, so that's got to be saying something. Silverado, I think the Silverado is a fantastic option. Okay, the 1500 and the Trail Boss edition, just like in my other video I did on what midsize I would buy, the 1500 and a Trail Boss, 2 inches of lift. It's a very sexy looking truck, very capable. It's now been out long enough that it's proven well, and it's doing very well. Sales are phenomenal, and there's, yeah, they have some hiccups just like Ford does. I think Ford has way more hiccups, but the Silverado would be probably my go-to for the average person would be this one. Now, the exception to that, for this to be a truck that I wanted it to do for what I need, it would have to be a ZR2. Okay, and that's kind of a problem. Okay, because the ZR2 price on this is stupid crazy high. So I would probably not myself for what I need go a Silverado, but I do believe that the Silverado and the Trail Boss is probably the best buy and probably the best deal for somebody looking for a full-size truck. Ram 1500 has always been a great truck, and they've always proved themselves well. I know a lot of people bash Ram. I love Ram. I love Ram stuff. I don't care if it's owned by Stellantis or if it's owned by Mercedes or Daimler or Fiat. I don't care who owns it. Okay, they've always done pretty well. Okay, and people are like, well, no, they don't. Well, I got a neighbor right here that's got a Ram that's like 25 years old, and the thing's got 400,000 miles on it. It runs like a top. Got a guy over here that lives right over here that's got another Ram that's like 7 or 8 years old. It's got 180,000 miles on it. Runs like a top. My neighbor down over here has a Ram that's 2018 or something, and he's got 90,000 miles on his, and it runs like a top. So come on, they work great, but Ram trucks are very high in price right now. I don't know what they're doing with it or what they're thinking, and in their style just is not mine. They sit a little lower to the ground. Their running boards run lower. They just don't have that look I want. When you look at a truck, okay, any vehicle out there, remember this is that rule, okay, and I've said this in other videos that nobody watched, okay, got like really stupid low, like 300 views over the course, and I put out like a year ago. But if you take a vehicle, you have a front wheel, you have a back wheel, okay, and then you have the fender comes up, body comes down, comes up, here's the front, goes up to the windshield, roof, okay, here's what your truck looks like, okay. This line from here to here, from the center of the wheel to the center of the wheel, this line right here, is basically going to be 16 or 17 inches based on the fact that most trucks have 32 or max 33-inch tires, okay? So we know we're going to be somewhere in that 16 to 17 inches of ground clearance from here to here, this distance, okay? From that center point, not ground clearance, but from that point to the level ground under the tire. Well, Rams drop their bodies down in pretty low to this, okay? Where most of these other trucks, they sit up a little higher, where a Ram, you know, like if that's a Ford or a Chevy or something like that, Toyota and Ram, they tend to put their bodies where their bodies are more like here, okay, like this, down here lower than they do other trucks. And it just to look for it kind of bothers me. It's not really something that I'm interested in. A $1,500 Ram 2500s look amazing. But the 1500s kind of have that grandpa feel to it a little bit. And I am a grandpa, so don't take that personal. But I'm not a fan of them. So what does that leave us with? Is out of these, basically what it comes down to is for the average person looking for a full-size truck, 150 is a good second choice. Ram, I don't think is there, but it's better than the Toyota in my opinion. Well, no, I can't even say that. I'd probably take a Tundra over that Ram. Again, only in the 1500. 2500 series, we changed that whole thing up with the Ram. But the Ram 1500, it would probably go in this order for me as an average person that needs a truck. Would be 1, and then it would go 2, then it would go 3, then it would go 4. That's kind of the route that I would personally go. And again, this whole video is opinion based on what I'm thinking and more for fun than any true value to it. But now there is the other. The elephant in the room is the other. What is that other? It is this. HD. Okay? That is the big difference right there. With the prices today, for example, putting it in real world, and I just did a video about this actually just the other day, okay, I need off-road capability. The only options there is a ZR2, okay, like I said, Ram offers nothing in a 1500 that's got the capability I need. Tundra offers nothing that has the capability I need. We have the F-150 so we got a 150 in a Tremor, and we have a Silverado in a ZR2, okay? Both of these are very expensive vehicles. Both of them are a lot of money. Max you can fit on here is 35s. Max you can fit on here is 35s. Okay, biggest you can get. For less money, or call it the same price, I can get a F250 gas version, which I love that gas motor. It's been around forever. And a Tremor, okay, and because of it being the Tremor, nothing involved, I can put it on 37s, okay, and I get the front Torsen auto lockers that are on there, okay, and somebody just argued with me, it's not an auto locker, it's not a real locker, it's just a limited, the Ford's Torsen front lockers on them, front, and I'm calling it a locker. It's the closest thing Ford makes to an actual front locker. Okay, it's the closest thing that Ford offers, all right, in a vehicle other than a Raptor. And actually, I think the Raptor is getting the same exact thing. I don't believe it's the true electronic locker. So it's so all you're getting is that's the best you can get from Ford. Is it good? As good as an electronic locker like you get on a ZR2? No, it's not. Is it close enough? Yes, it's good enough. And I get the electronic rear locker. But the fact that I can get an F250 Tremor with basically front and rear lockers, and I can put it on 37s without adding a lift or nothing, just a tire swap, and I can put it on 37s, and then the resale value is much stronger than any single one of these. The build quality, the durability, the strength of the vehicle, it handling what I need, the robustness of it, blows every one of these completely out of the water for me, and because of the fact that I can get it for less money than either of these, wins. So my other in a full-size truck would actually not be a full-size truck. It would be an F250 Tremor, put it on 37s, and call her good and done. And I'd do it with the gas motor, and that would be it right there. So that's what I would personally buy for what I need in this department. Now the Ram 2500 is great. Okay, the Power Wagon is great. And then even the Silverado 2500 ZR2 is great. Okay. They all are going to require lifts and modifications to run 37s. 37s are where I get the ground clearance, which I need with such a long vehicle to increase that breakover. I need that length. The F250 would let me put 37s on it with no modifications in the Tremor model, and therefore it wins hands down. And because of the cost of it, and because of Super Duty, like I said, the resale value on a Super Duty is top shelf, everything about it, that would be my full-size truck purchase. So little fun video for you, something to think about. But that's mine would be the other. I would not buy any one of these. I would go straight to this one right here. Little harder to park, maybe, won't fit in your garage, maybe. I don't put it in a garage, and I can fit into any place anyway, so I'm not worried about parking spots. For me, it would be that truck all day long. So it'd be a little hard for me as a short guy to get into and out of all the time, but heck, my Gladiators, you know, gets to be a chore sometimes. So, but that's how I would run it right there personally. So there you go. Thanks for watching.